Hey everybody, we are here at PRI 2022. We're actually at the Racing Junk booth because we have the pleasure of talking to Joe Morrison, who is not only the owner of the right thing of Right to Breathe, which is an organization I'll let him talk a little bit about, but is also an NHRA driver and a race instructor, a driver instructor. And as I just found out, a musician, so I'm going to be quizzing him about that later.
We can talk about that.
Joe, how are you?
Awesome. It's great to be here. It's great to see you again.
It's good to see you, too.
Thank you.
What have you been up to? Tell us a little bit about Right to Breathe first. What's going on with that? We'll let you...
really some exciting stuff. So for people who don't know,
yes,
Right to
please.
Breathe is a 501c3 nonprofit. We started based on my dad's journey with COPD.
Right.
So my dad was a drag racer before I was born, and then while I was young. Years later, when he had to give it up when my brother and I were young, and when I gave it back to him is when he was diagnosed with COPD. And so his journey and how we used racing to help keep him inspired to stay healthy, that was really why we started Right to Breathe, and that's why we go and do things within the racing community, because there are a ton of people that are the CDC estimates we've got about 12 million people in the United States that have COPD and don't know it. And if you can get diagnosed early, you can slow or stop the progression of it.
That's
so
great.
That's the 30-second history of Right to Breathe. So we just did an event at Maple Grove Raceway, the national event, which was great. Temple Health, the Temple Lung Center in Philadelphia partnered with us for that. They are one of the best in the country. And so to have such resources there was fantastic. We got to talk with a lot of people, and that was great. And then we did in Texas at the Dallas race. We did a campaign, Sound Up for Lung Cancer, which was powered by Novartis. That is great. So, and that was designed to help folks that are living with lung cancer have the courage to speak up. Sometimes there's a stigma thinking that they did it to themselves, so to speak. And that is not, honestly, a lot of the time it's not true. But people kind of feel like ashamed. And so that Sound Up campaign really was designed to help empower people. So that's some of the latest stuff with Right to Breathe, and we've got a online patient group. So if anybody is living with COPD or asthma or pulmonary fibrosis, and you don't really know what to do, and you want to maybe talk with other patients and understand what's going on, 3 times a month we have this group called Pulmonary Chat. It's free. It's via Zoom, and you just go to either Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, Right to Breathe, which is right_to_breathe on Instagram and Twitter, and I think it's righttobreathe.org on Facebook. And you can register, and it's free. Great. So we have some amazing doctors that come and talk, experts come and provide information. So I know it's a lot, but we're busy. We're out there trying to do good things. You guys have been doing really good work and really hard work. Thank you. All right, tell me how the season was, and tell me what's coming up. So. We did not race as much as we really wanted to. Right, I know it's a little disappointing. We had things locked up for about 8 races last year, and kind of at the last minute, a company changed direction, and we lost 4, and that just it's heartbreaking. But you know what? It's hard. At the end of the day, I don't know that I can complain, right? I mean, I'm still driving a race car, for God's sake. So, and it's a little bit the name of the game, right? Unfortunately, when we're sitting in earlier on the World Series, Pro Mod World Series press conference. And actually, I wasn't there. Sorry, I'm so sorry. It was the one before that. It was there's a lot of press conferences that happen at PRI. That's a fact. Ron Capps and Erica Enders were talking about their winning season, right? And Erica said, this is the first year out of 18 years. I'm not looking for where the next piece of money is coming from. Right. Not in a lack of gratitude, just in that she is a multiple championship winner. And one of the best drivers in pro stock. Exactly. And she can breathe. Hustle. And she can finally, after that, breathe for a season. Right. So it is really part of the deal. It is probably the least fun part of the deal. Oh, for sure. But you know what? It happens, right? It does. Yep. It happens. It does. And I signed up for it knowing full well what it was. And so be it, right? So we have some exciting things in the works. I mean, there's nothing I can announce yet. Right. But I will say there's some interesting new things happening.
Oh, okay.
So interesting new things happening. There will be some changes that will surprise people.
Okay.
So I like to leave a little tease like that.
Of course.
But yes, you will see Nitro Joe in the seat of a Nitro car
racing
at NHRA national events, as many as I possibly can this year.
Excellent.
There's, like I said, there's just a few things that we're waiting on. And a few new things that showed up kind of unexpectedly, which is neat, and we're gonna see where this all pans out. So I'm playing it kind of quiet.
Yeah.
This particular PRI.
That's fine.
But there's a lot of pomp and circumstance and new announcements and teams changing and everything like that. And I figure, you know what? Let me get all my ducks in a row.
I think that's a good idea.
And then we'll do all the announcements when there's a slower news day.
Perfect. I also think the last time you and I checked in, like, seriously, as opposed to like, hey, how are you, Seba, was the event that you guys were working on, which was teaching basically teenagers to drag race.
Yeah.
Which was very fun
I
to
loved
see.
it. I loved it.
I'd love to hear more about that event if something like that's going to happen again. But also, did any of them get out there and race?
Yes.
Excellent.
So the Junior Street program is where 13 to 16-year-olds with a parent in the passenger seat can race street cars. Has to be a street legal car, and it cannot be faster than 9 seconds in the 8th mile.
Okay.
In the 8th mile, okay. So technically, junior dragsters are actually faster.
Right.
However, this is a full-size vehicle that we're talking about, okay? But yes, I had a class of about 7 kids and their parents, and we had an awesome time at Island Dragway, my home track.
Right.
And a bunch of them, including my daughter, raced the same day.
Oh,
almost all of them. There were a
I
couple of kids that couldn't stick around. But and one of the girls that had just got her license went all the way to the semifinals.
Oh my God, that's amazing!
So it was awesome. Her first day ever racing, and she went all the way to the semifinals. So, but the kids had a blast.
Yeah.
I had a blast, and I tell you what, we need more youth involved in racing, all forms of racing. But the great thing about this, all you need, like everybody's got a street car.
Right.
All you need is a helmet or two, one for
Right.
mom or dad, and one for the kid.
Right.
So for that minimal investment, and often tracks will have rentals, you could actually rent the doggone helmet if you have to, right? So to be able to do that, it's just it's the easiest way to get kids involved in racing. And I don't know, any of you guys that are parents of 13 to 16-year-olds, you're sitting there scratching your head going, what in God's name are we going to do?
Because I have a 6-year-old. I cannot imagine.
Oh, yeah. Just remember, this too shall pass. Just remember that. No, but seriously, it's a great thing for parents and kids to do together.
Yeah.
And we really, as people that love racing, we need to bring the next generation in.
Absolutely.
We have to. So,
absolutely.
Yes, there will be more of that. I've had 3 other tracks approach me and say, hey, let's, can you do that here?
That's great.
And my answer is, heck yeah, let's work it out in the schedule. So what you will see, besides some surprises as far as Nitro Joe and what's going on, but you will see more Junior Street licensing.
Great. Okay.
And I'm talking with some of the folks at NHRA to see what we can do to do it even on a bigger level too. So we'll see where it all goes. But I love this sport. I love everything about it. And the racing industry is huge.
Yeah.
And if we don't continually get new people excited about it, it won't be here.
Exactly.
So yeah.
All right. Well, we can't wait to hear those announcements. As always, thank you for your time.
You will be on that list of the very first people to know.
I am very excited to know that.